Today's country and your all-time favorites, 95.1 The Bull. Time for our community conversation brought to you by our friends at Floyd County Medical Center at fcmc.us.com. Joining me here in the bullpen this morning, I have Iowa State Trooper Tom Williams joining us. Tom, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
And yeah, now that we have gotten into the fall season here, a good reminder for as we're making our occasional fall drives and admiring the colors. It's also something to keep in mind with, safety precautions behind the wheel.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Especially with slow moving vehicles, AKA farm equipment.
Yeah, keep that in mind. We're also still in the throes of harvest season here. My first question to you is how things have been shaping up with seeing the driver habits and fall driving with farm equipment and stuff. How are things shaping up there right now?
As of yesterday, and I think I've beat this to death over the last couple of years, but our goal, the Iowa State Patrol, one of their goals is to be, and several other states too, is to be under 300 fatalities a year. Okay. And as of yesterday, we're at 298. So that
still
is
too high.
Not going to happen. Last year at this time, we were at 273. So that's 25 more than last year. So the driving habits aren't getting any better. We're still seeing an increase of speeds of like triple digits, right? That's about an everyday occurrence. Distracted driving, things like that. Fail to stop at stop signs, stoplights.
Is there a certain pattern you're seeing one versus the other? Is it more the distracted driving or just we're in a big hurry here?
Well, I think it's all a combination of all of them. We're in a big hurry. We're distracted with other things. We want to get going where we want to go. And so then we run the stop sign or the speed gets away from it or whatever. But I think it's all a combination of all the above.
It's kind of just one of those things, like multitasking does not help you behind the wheel. Not one bit.
No, it doesn't. You need to focus on what you're doing, and that's driving. And when it comes to like fall harvest, we need our heads on a swivel because we pop a hill and that tractor pulling a load of grain going 5 miles an hour or whatever, that distance is going to close rapidly, right? So we need to be paying attention.
Yep, definitely. Speaking with Trooper Tom Williams here on our community conversation this morning, with that kept in mind as we're going to be transitioning soon, I assume, because with Mother Nature always likes to throw a curveball here in Iowa, winter driving will also be something that we need to keep in mind as well. You have some tips for us as we're transitioning that way?
Yes, it will be here before we know it. Just like every winter, have a good set of snow tires. Okay, have a good set of wiper blades because, inevitably we're going to be getting slushed with passing vehicles or whatever. And we need to have our wipers working. I think, my opinion, two most valuable pieces of equipment on a car, your tires and your wiper blades.
And the brake pads and the rotors too, very important there. Yes. And probably another thing, and sometimes it just gets, it goes over our heads, getting your oil changed because last thing we need is have the engine season up.
Yeah, just be mindful of all that stuff. Now, remember, higher speeds create slower stopping distances, right? Or greater stopping distances, slower reaction times. When the roadways are packed with snow and ice, it's going to take us longer to stop, right? So decrease your speed when that time comes. Have a little survival kit maybe put in your car with some, non-perishable foods or whatever, blankets, things that you might need in case you get stranded. But we're going to talk about that later in a couple months, I'm sure. But just be mindful of that stuff and start thinking ahead maybe a little bit.
Definitely. Speaking with Trooper Tom Williams here on the Morning Roundup from Iowa State Patrol. Another thing to probably bring up here, we're coming up on these bridges here, a dedication to bridges in honor of Troopers Jim Smith and Ted Benda, who died while serving North Central and Northeast Iowa. Did you have a chance to work with either or both of them?
I worked with both of them. Actually, I went through the academy with Ted. So yeah, I knew Ted quite well. I knew Jim pretty well, but I probably knew Ted a little bit more.
Yeah. And what does honor mean to the troopers and their families?
Well, I think it means a lot. It just keeps their memory alive. It helps us to appreciate their service to our state. And, just, I think about both of them almost every single day. I was in Grundy Center that night with Jim's incident. Like I said, I knew Ted. I went to the academy with him, so I think about him a lot. So it means a lot I know it means a lot to us. I know it means a lot to their family.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you for sharing your insight and your knowledge of both those officers there, and they're still truly missed here in Iowa here. Trooper Tom Williams talked about a couple of various things. Another thing that also has been kind of an ongoing topic to discuss, and it has been for even statewide news, is about Algona police officer Kevin Cram, who was killed in the line of duty. Do you mind describing like some of the precautions that troopers take when approaching vehicle you pull over, especially late at night?
Yep. The main thing is we don't want to be complacent. We can get into a pattern of stopping cars where it's quote unquote routine, and I think everybody's heard this before, but each traffic stop is unique. They're not a routine stop, right? So we have to stay vigilant. We have to keep our head on a swivel and our eyes open, and not be complacent when we stop cars or serve warrants or whatever it is we're going to do. Some things that we do, they could be planned out. We have briefings, we talk about them, we have time to get a warrant and discuss, and so there's time to plan these things, but sometimes things happen in spur of the moment where we have to make split decisions. Okay, and hopefully it's the right one. But so yeah, the big thing is not to get complacent when we're on traffic stops.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of things we keep in mind there, and of course, we always think about when you guys are out there, because sometimes when you just leaving the door for the day, and that it may be the last day, it may be another day to survive another day and in the line of duty.
Correct. Yeah, you don't know, what's going to happen, what a stop is going to lead to, what a knock on the door is going to lead to. You don't know. That's one thing. God didn't give us his insight to see into the future. So we have to take every stop, every call seriously, and hope for the best, and don't expect the worst, but just plan for the worst anyway. So.
All right. Well, thank you again, Tom, for sharing your insight, especially for fall season coming up, the winter driving tips, and of course, any other info that you have as we're leading up to going into next month and the months ahead here.
Like I said, we'll probably talk more about winter driving. It gets a little closer. The school bus violations are, I don't understand, but they're, I've had 10 of them, I think 9 or 10 already this year. So that continues to be a problem. When you see that yellow school bus with its yellow flashing lights and red lights and stop arm out, your antennas should be going up, and you want to stay as far away from that school bus as possible. So stop, don't pass the school bus. So anyway.
Yeah, well, thanks for reminding us. Again, make sure to keep the kids safe, keep the bus drivers safe. Just pay attention. That's the bottom line.
Yes, pay attention. Whatever. I know this is hard. Everybody has issues in life and things going on and problems, and we have other distractions like our phones and radios and stuff. But whatever it is, put it in the back seat and forget about it while you're driving. Pay attention to the road.
Well, while we continue to re-educate ourselves on some of those things, for further information, how can we learn more to maybe get some literature and learn more about?
You go to the Iowa State Patrol Facebook page, the GTSB website. You can follow me on Twitter. It's Trooper Tom Williams at Trooper Tom 209. So yeah, there's a lot of different areas you can go to. I think GTSB has a lot of good information out there and a lot of stats and stuff. So
All right. Well, Officer Tom Williams, thanks a lot for joining us here on the Morning Roundup and sharing your insights. And we look forward to seeing you again here down the line.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Officer Tom Williams joining us here on the Morning Roundup, brought to you by our friends at Floyd County Medical Center at fcmc.us.com.